So I read a lot of comments. One comment was from Darling Ape. Now, Darling Ape, if this is the real Darling Ape, I never know who's real anymore, who's fake anymore. Everyone has alt accounts, everyone makes up accounts. But Darling Ape has always been a very cool person and a reasonable person. So I'm going to try to talk reasonable. Okay, look, whether you like Donald Trump or whether you don't like Donald Trump, you have to ask yourself a question. You have to ask yourself a question. Okay. I'm not a lawyer. Let me state this first. I am not a judge. What I am about to say is just my opinion. It's for entertainment purposes only, and I am not giving any type of legal advice. Nothing. Okay, it's just my opinion. Okay. Do I feel that the New York civil case against Donald Trump was fair? No. Okay, it wasn't fair. Listen, here's the bottom line. I mean, are you reasonable people? Okay. For something to be called a fraud, okay, don't you think there has to be a victim? Like, right? I'm just asking you, isn't there supposed to be someone who in some way, shape, or form had some sort of a financial loss that was of no fault of them, that they were deceived? Okay, right? Okay. So who's the victim here? The banks? The banks were paid back in full. They made, from what I've read, I'll say it's alleged because I can't be 100% sure, I think they made $100 million profit from dealing with Donald Trump. They also said that they were whale hunting. This is the banks now. They were searching for business from Donald Trump. In other words, they were going after him, baby. Like, Van Halen, they were hot for teacher. They were hot for teacher. They were going after his business. Okay, now here's the thing. So the whole case was based on the fact that Trump inflated his assets, all this stuff. Okay. You have to understand something. I've applied for loans. I'm sure all of you had in the past, or at least at one time, maybe you have to have experience or a family member had experience with applying for a loan. It is a vigorous process, not easy. Okay. Yes, banks do go out there and get appraisals done. I know they do it for me. They do it for every other American. Okay, all around the world, banks have to do a lot of due diligence. They don't just rely on you know how many times people fill out credit applications and they just, like they write whatever they want to write, right? I mean, how many times has this happened? What do you think? Donald Trump's the only person who's ever done this in history? Okay. How much do you make a year? They make 50,000. I make 100,000. Okay. There's a thing called they have to verify this information. It is the bank's job to verify it, to go out there and make sure that everything the person is saying is accurate. And before they issue a loan, trust me when I tell you, they have an underwriting department and they have departments that make sure before they issue funds, they are satisfied. I can't get no satisfaction, but I try. Believe me, they don't try. Okay, banks get satisfaction. So I for what I saw with this case, the banks read Trump's, opinions of what his assets were worth. They did their own homework. They did their own due diligence. And they were satisfied and they issued Trump the loan. Again, he paid back the loans in full. He didn't default on the loan. They made all their money back plus a tremendous amount of interest. They made, I believe, again, I'll say it's alleged, but I believe it's $100 million. So where's the fraud? Who got deceived? Who's the victim? Do you really think that constitutes a $355 million judgment? Do you really think so? You really? $355 million? Okay. Now, with that said, we're going to go to step 2 now. Donald Trump is, in fact, a billionaire. Oh, he's a billionaire. It doesn't matter if you like him. Doesn't matter if you don't like him. The man is a multi-billionaire. Just DWAC alone. The guy owns 79 million shares. I'm talking about Donald Trump. He owns over 60%. And when DWAC has the friggin' merger with Truth Social, his stake is like $10 billion, which could go up, by the way. Because I think DWAC is heading north, in my opinion. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. It's just my opinion for entertainment purposes only. But I think as we get closer to November, Trump takes back the White House, which I think he will, in my opinion. I think you'll see DWAC at over $200 or more. I mean, forget about it. His stake could be worth a ridiculous amount of money. A ridiculous amount. Now, that's just DWAC. That's just DWAC. Currently, his stake could be anywhere between 4 to 6 billion as of today. It could be a lot higher in the future, right? Okay. What about his real estate empire? He's got $3 billion there. I was just reading this article today that, one building that he has, 1290 Avenue of the Americas, he has a 30% stake in this. It's worth something like $600 million. Brings in like $60 million a year in revenue, a little over $60 million a year. He owns like 30% of this building. It doesn't have his name on it. Isn't that ironic? Because everybody associates every building that Trump is involved with that it has his name on it. This particular building doesn't, right? Well, if he sells this building, okay, there it is. Just one building, doesn't even have his name on it. He'll have more than enough money to at least put up a bond. Okay, he's going to be appealing these cases, so he can put up a bond. And most likely there's a chance that I think that if he gets a fair judge and they really, really kind of see that there was no victim here, he might be able to overturn the decision. Well, we don't know yet. But the point I'm trying to say is Trump is not a candidate for GoFundMe. Look, I love the guy. I support him. Billionaires are not candidates for GoFundMe. Look, GoFundMe, candidates for GoFundMe, people who are in severe medical, emergencies, financial emergencies. He's not in a financial emergency, okay? He's okay. He's all right, and he can handle this, okay? Again, I support the guy. I'm going to vote for the guy. I feel he's the best guy for the job to put our country back on track to make America great again. But billionaires are not candidates for GoFundMe pages. But with that said, that's how I feel about it all. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. This video is for entertainment purposes only. V for victory, baby.